Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to see a very common real world DevOps scenario, that is how to pull images from a private Docker registry in a Kubernetes cluster using image pool secrets. This works with any private registry like Nexus, JFrog Artifactory, AWS ECR, Azure ACR, or even private Docker Hub repositories. So there are two main steps in this process. Step 1, to create a Kubernetes secret. We create a secret that stores credentials, token or username or password for the Docker registry. This secret allows Kubernetes to authenticate and pull private images. In step 2, we attach a secret using image pool secrets. We configure our deployment or pod to use this secret using image pool secrets. Earlier, when we were using public Docker Hub images, this was not required. But in real production environments, almost all images are private, so this becomes mandatory. Before starting the demo, let me quickly show you my setup. I already have a Kubernetes cluster running on VirtualBox, one master node and two worker nodes, a private Docker registry hosted on JFrog Artifactory Cloud. In my previous videos, I already explained how to create repositories in JFrog and how to push Docker images and manage access in Artifactory. So this is my JFrog Docker repository. Under the repository SEH Docker, I have a private Docker image for my Spring Boot microservice, that is SEH students. This is the image we will try to pull from Kubernetes. For this demo, we will use a separate namespace, that is SEH-SIT-IN, to create our resources like deployment, secret, service account, etc. Well, in real organizations, we usually don't have a single shared space. Instead, we use namespaces per team or project. For example, SEH-SIT-IN is a namespace for SEH project in SIT environment. Here IN stands for India. The same way for another project, we can use that project name, then SIT, and then IN, and so on, etc. This gives isolation, security, better access control. We already have the namespace created. Let's verify it using kubectl get ns command. Here we can see SEH-SIT-IN namespace already exists. Now let's set our context to SEH-SIT-IN, so we don't need to pass -n every time. For that, we can run kubectl config set context --current namespace is equal to SEH-SIT-IN. Hit enter. Our context modified. So now if I run kubectl config view --minify grep namespace, so it will show SEH-SIT-IN. Means now everything will run inside this namespace by default. Alright. So before we actually create the secret in our Kubernetes namespace, there is one very important step we need to do first. We actually need to log into our private Docker registry, which in our case is hosted in JFrog Artifactory. And this login is what gives Docker the access token, which later allows Kubernetes to pull images securely from the private registry. So let me quickly take you to the JFrog Artifactory. So here we go. Then if I go to platform and then artifacts and SEH Docker repository. Now here on the top right corner, you will see a button called set me up. When I click on it, it gives me all the setup instructions. Now here is the interesting part. It shows generate token option. So basically what we do is select generate token, enter your JFrog password here, and click on generate token and create instruction, and boom, it generates everything we need to authenticate Docker. It gives us command like docker login and then login URL, and it also provides a config snippet like this. Now just a quick note here, this auth field is actually base64 encoded combination of username and token. So if I decode it, you can clearly see what's inside. So let me copy this and on Linux machine, if I do echo and pipe base 64 -d, so you will see something like this is the username colon token value. So basically before colon this is the username and after colon actual token. Now in real environments you can use either password or generated identity token. So let's actually go ahead and log in. Copy the docker login command and on your Kubernetes cluster run docker login, then login URL. Hit enter. It will ask username. Provide the username here. For me username is this, and the password, for password I will provide the token. So here we can see login succeeded. Now by default Docker stores credentials in root location /.docker directory. But here is the important real world concept. In real organizations, multiple teams share the same server or Kubernetes node. So we don't want anyone mixing up credentials. We isolate them per team or per namespace. So what we do, we create a folder for namespace and point Docker to this folder using export command. So export docker config and the namespace name /.docker. Hit enter. Now login again. Now Docker will store credential here instead. So if we do ls, so here we can see config.json is available in namespace, then /docker /config.json. So if I do cat, here in this config.json we can see an entry for our JFrog Artifactory, and this auth field is what Kubernetes will use later. Now let's rename this config.json to .docker config.json using cp command. So a lot of people think we must rename config.json to .docker config.json. Actually that is not mandatory. We are mainly doing this for better organization and clarity. So what we are doing is we are just renaming this config.json to .docker config.json. Now this file becomes easier to use while creating the Kubernetes secret. And honestly, in many real world projects, teams follow this naming convention because Kubernetes internally also uses the key name like .docker config.json. But technically, while creating the secret, we can directly provide this schitin /docker config.json as well. But in my case, I am using schitin namespace name /.docker config.json just to keep things cleaner and namespace specific. Hit enter. Now if I do cat, so here also you can see this Artifactory URL and this auth token. So what's happening here, whenever Docker or Kubernetes tries to pull an image from this private JFrog repository, it will use these credentials to authenticate with JFrog, verify access, and then pull the image successfully into the cluster. Without this authentication, Kubernetes will throw error like image pull back off or error image pull, which is very common real-time issue in production. Now the next step is to create the Kubernetes secret. And here we are using the imperative approach, meaning directly using the kubectl create secret command. Now let me explain exactly what is happening here. kubectl create secret generic. This tells Kubernetes create a generic secret object. And this image pull secret, this is simply the name of our secret. Later our deployment or pod will refer to this name. And from file .docker config.json is equal to schitin slash dot docker config JSON. This is the most important part here. Left side dot docker config JSON, key name expected by Kubernetes, and the right side shin slash dot docker config JSON, actual file on the server. So Kubernetes reads this file and stores its content securely inside the secret object. Then -- type kubernetes.io slash docker config JSON. This specifies the secret type, and this is special type tells Kubernetes this secret contains Docker registry authentication information. Because of this type, Kubernetes knows how to use it while pulling container images. -n shin, and finally we are creating this secret inside shin namespace. Remember, secrets are namespace specific. Pods can only access secrets from the same namespace. So this is very important interview question as well. Now let's hit enter, and you would see secret image pull secret created. Awesome. Now let's quickly validate whether our secret is actually created or not. For that we will run kubectl get secret -n shin, and here you should be able to see image pull secret is being created, and the type is kubernetes.io slash docker config JSON. This confirms that Kubernetes understands this secret as a Docker registry authentication secret. Now, if you want to inspect the secret further, you can run kubectl describe secret and then secret name, and this namespace name is optional because we are already in shin namespace. Hit enter. Now here Kubernetes will not show the actual credentials in plain text for security reasons, but it will show the name of the secret, in which namespace it was being created, the type of the secret, and the data. So internally, Kubernetes has securely stored our Docker authentication config. Now we will create a service account. But the question is, why are we creating a service account here? Can't we directly use image pull secrets inside the deployment YAML? The answer is yes, absolutely we can. But in real world Kubernetes environments, using a service account is considered a cleaner and more scalable approach. Now let's create the service account using kubectl create service account command. Here SA stands for service account, SEH is the service account name, -n shin means create it inside the shin namespace. So once we hit enter, we will see service account, then service account name created. Perfect. Now comes the important part. We need to attach our Docker registry secret to this service account. For that we will use kubectl patch service account command. Now let me explain what is happening here, because this is a very important real-time Kubernetes concept. Kubectl patch. Patch means modify an existing Kubernetes object without recreating it. So instead of deleting and recreating the service account, we are simply updating it. Service account SEHSA. This tells Kubernetes modify the service account named SEHSA. -p, this means patch payload. Basically we are passing JSON content to update the object. Image pull secrets, this is the key part, and here we are saying attach this image pull secret to the service account, and the secret name is image pull secret. So any pod or deployment using this service account will automatically inherit the image pull secret, meaning pods no longer need manual Docker login. Kubernetes automatically uses stored credentials, and private images can be pulled securely from JFrog. Hit enter. You will see service account, then service account name, patched. Alright friends, now comes the final and the most important step. Till now we created Docker credentials, converted them into Kubernetes secret, attached the secret to the service account. Now finally we need to tell our deployment to actually use that service account and image pool secret. So let me take you to my IDE. Here I have my GitHub repository called Kubernetes playlist, and under day 20 directory I have my deployment manifest schstudents-deploy.yaml. Now let me explain this manifest carefully because this is where everything connects together. So here kind is deployment. This tells Kubernetes we want to create a deployment object. A deployment manages pods automatically. Then we have namespace, that is SCHSITIN. This deployment will be created inside the SCHSITIN namespace. Very important because service account is in SCHSITIN namespace and secret which is created is also in SCHSITIN namespace. So pods are also in SCHSITIN namespace. Everything must exist in the same namespace. Now look at this section, image pool secrets. Here secret name is image pool secret. This is the key part. Here we are telling Kubernetes whenever you pull this Docker image, use the credentials stored inside image pool secret. Without this, Kubernetes will try anonymous access, and for private registries image pool will fail. Next we have service account name SCHSA. This means run these pods using SCHSA service account. And remember, we already attached the image pool secret to this service account. So now every pod created by this deployment automatically gets access to the registry credentials. So this is very clean and reusable approach. Now here under the container section, this image. This is our private Docker image hosted in JFrog Artifactory, and Kubernetes will now authenticate using service account, image pool secret and Docker credentials before pulling this image. So here image pool policy is always, this tells Kubernetes always check and pull the latest image from registry. Now since I am managing all Kubernetes manifest inside GitHub, let's commit and push these changes using git commands. Git add dot, then git commit -m, commit message and git push. Now inside my Kubernetes cluster server under /opt/code repo, I already cloned this repository earlier, Kubernetes playlist. So let me pull the latest changes using git pull command. Perfect. Now let's apply the deployment manifest using kubectl apply -f, and inside day 20 I'm having my deployment manifest available. Once we hit enter, Kubernetes starts creating pods. So here we are getting the error that spec.imagepool secrets unknown field, means image pool secrets is placed in the wrong location. So let me correct that. It should be inside spec, then template, then spec, and here. Save the changes and commit the changes again. Again on the Kubernetes server, pull the changes and apply. Now let's verify using kubectl get pods command, and you should see pods in running state. Now let's inspect one pod deeply using kubectl describe pod and then pod name. So here under event section, you should see something like successfully pulled image, which means Kubernetes authenticated successfully with JFrog, image pull succeeded, no authentication issue, pod started successfully. And that's exactly how private image pulling works in real production Kubernetes environments. So friends, in today's demo, we learned how Docker login works with private registries, how JFrog generates authentication tokens, how Docker stores credentials, how to isolate configs namespace wise, how to create Kubernetes image pull secrets, how image pull secrets works, how service accounts simplify authentication, and finally how Kubernetes securely pulls private Docker images. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more real-time DevOps and Kubernetes content. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy learning.